your one-stop YouTube channel for analysis of politics and happenings in the polity. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 3 Nigerian presidential jets that was seized in France. It's all over the news, it's all over the media that what? Nigeria's jet seized in France. How come? Why? How? This is where you get all the details and analysis of why Nigerian presidential jet was seized in France. I'm going to be telling you the transaction, what transpired, how the Chinese firm Zhongshan was treated in Nigeria, the details of the transaction, and we'll now go to the realm of international business and diplomacy. The company that transacted the transaction is a Chinese firm. A Chinese firm dealing with a state government in Nigeria, Ogun State, and at the end of the day, US courts are giving judgment. UK courts are giving judgment. Why? What is the business of UK? What's the business of US, France, with a transaction that happened between a Chinese firm and a state government in Nigeria? I'm going to be giving you all the analysis of that right here on this episode of Politics with Omoshola Deji. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into this analysis together. Now, imagine that a presidential jet, presidential jet is one of the things that we can say signifies a country's sovereignty. You know that as it is now, different countries of the world, when they have things to do, maybe they are going to AU meeting, UN meeting, every country comes with their own presidential jet. So it is a class kind of thing. It's just as most people now, they prefer to use iPhone, Samsung. If you are not using iPhone or Samsung, you are just not there yet. It's not that you are not really there, but it's just a class kind of thing. So in the international stage, when you are using your own private jet, you are regarded as a country, so to say. So each country strive to have their presidential jet. But one of the questions we need to ask ourselves is, what is Nigerian presidential jet, 3 for that matter, doing in France to start with? What is our jet doing in faraway France? We heard that they took it for maintenance, and one of those 3 jets were jets that were bought. One of those 3 jets was bought but yet to be delivered. And the court in France now says, seize all the 3 of them. The Nigerian government owed Ogun State to pay the money that they are owing Zhongshan. I think that's about $75 million. A whooping $75 million. So that all that jet, those 3 jets, owed it to they pay Zhongshan. So how could Zhongshan be very powerful to be able to see? And they are not only going against the 3 jets, they want to seize other Nigerian assets. Why do countries have assets in foreign land? I'm going to come to that. So it's going to be a very detailed analysis. This analysis has not made it through the media. You see that Nigerian media are just reporting the issue now, but I am coming right here to you with the detailed analysis free of charge, and that's why you need to stay tuned to this channel. This is where we keep it real. This is where we make it happen. So now, the background to the case is in 2001, Nigerian government signed agreement with China that the 2 countries would allow for a free trade zone. That Nigeria and China would allow for free trade. Remember, there was a time that they also said that there will be currency swap just to hasten the relationship between Nigeria and China. Because if you look around you, most of the things that you see around you, they are made in China. Try it. Just look around you. If you are in Nigeria, just pick many goods around you. Any product you see made in China. So China is a production economy. What Peter Obi was trying to say, that from consumption to production. So I think Peter Obi is trying to emulate the line of China. But Nigeria is a consumption economy. China is a production economy. So China needs Nigeria because Nigeria owns the market. You know, wherever there is people, there is money. Anywhere you see people, wherever there is people, there is money there. If you know the right thing to do, if you can meet the needs of those people, what they need, definitely you will make money. So China have seen that, oh, Nigeria has population, but they are not producing anything. And Nigerians need goods and services. That's when China says, oh, we sabi produce now. Let us come in and be producing. That was how Nigeria began to align with China. So in 2001, there was this agreement between Chinese government and Nigerian government for the establishment of a free trade zone. So that means that Nigeria can also ask for a place in China that free trade zone. What do we mean by free trade zone? There won't be taxes, you know, there will be some kind of like soft landing for goods and services that are being rendered in that free trade zone. So it is just like a soft approach. So when China and Nigeria signed the agreement, you know that Nigeria, sorry to say, my people, you know that Nigeria doesn't have much to offer in terms of production. So even if they give Nigeria land, say okay, take erect free trade zone, do what you like, because we are not producing. What do you want to do in the free trade zone? Underline trade. It is free trade zone. It is not free academic zone. Not that you go there and be teaching people. No, free trade. So for you to trade, you must be producing, except if you want to go and be selling raw crude oil. And raw crude oil, which Nigeria produces in large quantity, already has its own market. Raw crude oil already has its own market. So China, being a production economy, decide to use Ogun State. You know, Ogun State is very strategic. Ogun State lies between Lagos and Ibadan, the former capital of the southwest region. So Ogun State happens to be in the middle. They now sign this agreement, and this company, Zhongshan, came into Nigeria. Yeah, Zhongshan came into Nigeria, and they met with the state government. That was in 2000, I think, under this guy Benga Daniel 2007. Yes, under Benga Daniel, because Olusegun Oshoba did one term, 1999 to 2004, to 2003. It was in 2003 that Olusegun Oshoba was removed and Benga Daniel was declared the winner of the election. So it was during Benga Daniel's time in Ogun State that they signed that agreement. Now, the company, you know, in international trade, in international relation, agreement is agreement. No, they there. Agreement is agreement. That's one of the principles of international business. They take agreement very seriously. It is Nigeria that you say, oh, don't worry, tomorrow I'll give you 15 naira. You already know you don't have that money. You are already doing like this to the person. You know you don't have that money. And you now be thinking that the court will save you. I'm still coming to the role of court. Why Nigerian court are not trusted in this kind of thing. Why they are not using Nigerian court and how it is done in international business. I'm coming to it. So when they said, oh, these people take this land, the land was barren land. They were now doing this fence, perimeter fencing of the free trade zone area to improve the security. Then Ibikunle Amosun came. When Ibikunle Amosun came, and you know that government naturally also be continual. When Ibikunle Amosun came, he said he doesn't like Zhongshan's face, that they should stop that thing, that agreement, that they don't want to give the place to Zhongshan again. You can imagine that an agreement has been signed by a government, and that is why government is continuum. In other words, if you are a government, whether, for example, when PDP was there, when APC came in, as a government, you inherit the asset and liability of the former government. What do I mean by that? There are some good things that the former government would have done. You are inheriting it. the madness that the former government has also done, you are also inheriting it. Government is continuing, and that is why countries usually put their best hands in government. There are countries that they don't joke with you. Look at Joe Biden. He was just feeling a little bit sick. What did the American people say? Hey, Sleepy Joe, go and rest. We don't think we can do this job of being the president of the United States. They say no, Joe Biden, go home. But in Nigeria, that is not the case. Anybody can say he wants to become this and that. We don't put our best, and that is why Ogun State is suffering it now. Because of the Ogun State that produced Wole Soyinka, an intellectual, the Ogun State that produced political juggernaut like MKO Abiola is the same Ogun State that is in debt now. Ogun State wey no get money, if they remove $75 million from Ogun State coffer, wait, if they sell Ogun State, make I see, if they sell Ogun State, shey Ogun State go reach $75 million, because most of the states in Nigeria are already in debt. Don't forget that most of the states we have in Nigeria, they are already in debt. So if you now decide to sell Ogun State, say Ogun State, come, we want to sell you, can they buy Ogun State for $75 million? Can they buy Ogun State? Because the debt that Ogun State is owing, if they deduct it, the remaining value of Ogun State, is it up to $75 million? To now make matters worse, I'm a citizen of Ogun State, make dem no go sell me join, abeg, I no know how they do the money. Now, back to the context of the analysis, because we have some very crucial things to cover. Very, very crucial things. Like I said, Nigerian media has not analyzed this thing. I am bringing it to you free of charge. I will break it down, everything for you, because I have a degree in international relations, political science, and all these things. So I will explain everything to you. Now, when Ibikule Amosu said, we don't want your face again, they took police, the normal Nigerian impunity. They now took these Chinese guys, despite the fact that they are fulfilling their own part of the agreement. These Zhongshan guys, they are fulfilling their own part of the agreement. They are working hard to establish the free trade zone so that they can make money and do well for themselves. Ibikule Amosu said, no, I don't like your face. Maybe Ibikule, Ibikule now, that guy with that cap, his cap, Ibikule's cap, the former governor of Ogun State, that is cap that used to be like this, like 3-story building, 3-tower cap. Ibikule Amosu said, we don't want you. To now make matters worse, he used his executive powers. Nigerian governors and Nigerian presidency, the way they behave, as if they are God, as if they are law unto themselves. They didn't follow the agreement. I will tell you how the thing backfire and why Ogun State, maybe they will need to sell Ogun State. Maybe it's one state in America that will still come and buy Ogun State. Now maybe I'll be looking for another state to join. So please help me comment your state. If I like your state, maybe I will disown my citizenship of Ogun State and come and become a member of your state. So the thing is, Ibikule Amosu, the then governor of Ogun State, they arrested these guys. They locked this guy up. These Zhongshan guys, they were tortured for weeks without being taken to court. And in the international scene, when you arrest and torture for no just reason, it is a very serious offense. If those guys have breached any aspect of the agreement, what Ogun State government is supposed to do is to call them to order, to sanction them, or seek redress in the country of arbitration. Take note. Maybe you can write this thing down. Country of arbitration. Just take note of it. I'm coming there. Country of arbitration. Now, or seek redress in the country of arbitration. But the normal Nigerian gragra, the normal Nigerian wuru, the normal Nigerian grigri, what do they do? They arrest these guys, they lock them up, they torture them for weeks. After that, they release them. So the question is, if you didn't charge them, if you didn't, if no judgment was given against them, why did you arrest them and torture them in the first place? Why don't you go through the legal process or sanction them why do you have to torture the Zhongshan guys? Those ones now gather evidence. They gather the evidence and say, oh, in this case, you have breached the agreement, you have not even tortured us, we will seek redress in the country of arbitration. Now, what do we mean by country of arbitration? You know, let me take you there. Country of arbitration is, I'm thinking of how to break it down, because some of you watching, you may not have had maybe background input, you may be engineer, you may be fashion designer, you may be other professions. I need to break it down as simple as possible. Now, when we say country of arbitration, what do we mean? You and I, you that you are watching me, we decide to do a business. Let's say I am Nigeria. No, I don't want to be Nigeria. Nigeria to get too much debt. To which country I go be? Okay, let me be loyal, let me be patriotic. I am Nigeria. You are US. No, you can't be US. You can. No, I cannot be Nigeria. You are Ghana. You know. Let's say I am Nigeria, and you have a firm now. Okay, let's say I am Nigeria. You are Zhongshan, that country in question. I am Nigeria, and you are Zhongshan. What do we mean by country of arbitration? You know, Nigeria is located in Africa, West Africa to be precise. Now, you that you are Zhongshan, you are a Chinese firm. Your government, the Chinese government, knows that you are doing a business with Nigeria, because it is your government that signed that treaty with Nigerian government. You now indicated interest to your government, so your embassy knows you are doing business with me, Nigeria. Now, in case there is a dispute, in case there is a problem, you know, nobody will be friend, will be say they know they quarrel, except you and I. Now only you and I be friends when we know they quarrel, because me and you will be friends for life as we dey so. So now, you know, say as friends they quarrel. The thing is, if there is a dispute between me, wey be Nigeria, and you, wey be Zhongshan, how do we resolve this dispute? How? Is it in the Chinese court or in the Nigerian court? If we decide to resolve it in the Chinese court, say let's go to Chinese court, I will be afraid that Ewele, you Zhongshan, the Chinese judicial system will favor you. You too, if I say, oh, let us use Nigerian court, you'll be afraid that Nigerian court, no, the Nigerian judicial system will favor you. And you'll be afraid that Nigerian government, they have history of not obeying court orders, so they have strong history of not obeying court orders. Say no, we cannot use Nigeria. So in the case of the back and forth, I am Nigeria, you are Zhongshan. I am afraid that if we use China, it will be problem for me. I may not get justice. You are afraid that if we use Nigeria, you may not get justice, and at the end of the day, the law, they will give judgment, make I no obey, and nothing will happen. Now, that's where the country of arbitration comes in. They will now say, okay, in that case, let us state that if we have argument, if I do anything and we are unable to resolve it, if there's an argument between us, or if you sanction me and I feel that what you are doing is not right, where is the arbitration going to take place? Which court go help us settle the matter? They will now say, okay, let us use UK or US or any country in Europe as country of arbitration. You know, say in that case, me wey be Nigeria, I go think say, Europe, okay, well, shey you wan go influence judgment for Europe, no wahala. You too, you think that Europe, UK is not in Africa. Me too, we think that China is not in Europe. You now say, okay. So country of arbitration means that when there is an international trade, where there is an international business, if any conflict occur that the two parties are unable to resolve it and the back and forth becomes unbearable and they want to take themselves to court for court to settle it, the country that they agree that the case should be instituted is what is called country of arbitration. So in this case, most times when they want to sign agreement like that, they will use countries with strong judicial system, countries that their judicial system is not corrupt, country that you know that their judges will not compromise. And where can we find some of these countries? It is all these UK, US, these Western countries that you know that they have judicial system. Their judiciary, you know, are not after money. It is not the kind of judiciary that will turn number 4 to number 1, no. Like the case of Imo State, where number 4 will suddenly become number 1 all of a sudden, just like that. Imagine say me and you run race now, I can't carry 4, all of a sudden I can't go court. You can't say, oh, the court can't say, oh, na Deji be number 1, no. No be juju be that. So these are some of the things that these companies don't want to always use Nigeria as country of arbitration so that they can get justice. Now, if judgment is given, how will the judgment be implemented? And I'm getting deep into this analysis now. This is why you need to stay tuned. And if you are watching me, if you can share, if you can press the like button, please do, so that you know YouTube can recommend it for others too. Let everybody enjoy this analysis. You know. Now, if a judgment is now given, you know that the country where the judgment is given, they cannot use police to arrest Nigeria. They cannot use army to arrest the president of Nigeria. But there's something we call asset. And I will go to why countries usually have assets. For instance, now Nigeria as a country, I have houses in UK, I have houses in US. It's not Bola Ahmed Tinubu's house. Nigeria as a country, I will take you there. Why countries usually have assets? Now write that down because I'm coming to it. Why countries usually have assets abroad? Now the company as it is, when the judiciary gives a judgment, how will it be implemented? You can't arrest anybody. In this case, you can't sentence people to prison, because if you are dealing with a government, now when the agreement was signed, it was another governor that was there. Now a new governor is there. Will you send Akpo Abiodun to prison? But most times when problems occur in international business, they go after the assets. They know say if they go after your asset, it's as if they are stripping you naked when they go after your assets. Imagine now, say as you dey so now, person just seize your car, seize your house, seize your phone. Those are your assets. It's as if you are stripping the country naked, because the country ordinarily needs this asset. So they know that if they find you financially and they go after your asset, you cannot disobey, because if you disobey the judgment, they will go after that asset and they can be confiscated. That is what France is doing now. Having been one of the countries of arbitration, they have given a judgment before now. There are some judgments in US, in UK, which Nigerian government have failed to abide by the normal Nigerian nonsense that they do. Nigerian government has failed to abide by that judgment. Now they are going after Nigerian assets. They are going after the asset of Nigeria. First, how did Nigeria get this asset? Why do countries have assets abroad? I'll give a perfect example. Countries usually have assets abroad to remove any kind of embarrassment and inconvenience. And you know that international diplomacy, during international diplomacy, there are some embarrassment that it is always monumental. What do I mean by that? For instance, Nigeria was colonized by UK. By population, most Nigerians usually go to UK. So you would ordinarily think that naturally Nigeria will have more business, more transaction, more intergovernmental relations with UK. So those people that are representing Nigeria in the UK for different engagement, maybe they are always using hotel. I'm going to why countries usually have assets abroad. Now maybe Nigeria usually have engagement with UK, It can be on sport, it can be on economy, it can be on security, counter-terrorism, finance, business, trade. So the Nigerian contingent, maybe they used to use hotel, and sometimes maybe during peak era the hotels would have been booked. They will now be scampering for where those Nigerian contingent will stay. It will now be as if they are begging those hoteliers. Imagine a country begging an hotel that, oh please, Nigerian contingent are coming, please, we need a place for them to stay, and all that. So in that case, if Nigeria look at his book and see that we used to have much engagement in UK, Nigerian government might decide to buy a house in UK with Nigerian money. It's just like buying a story building. It will be furnished, it will have different rooms. It will be Nigerian government house in UK. They can have one, they can have two, they can have three, depending on the engagement with the country. For instance, now Nigerian government will not have any house in Afghanistan because Nigeria barely have much interaction and engagement with Afghanistan. But countries like UK, US, maybe UAE, France, Nigerian government might have some houses there for the purpose that I have stated earlier. So in these houses, when Nigerians come for government work, they will go and stay in those houses. For instance, if you are part of the president delegation to UK on climate change, maybe they are youth, they are intellectual, that want to discuss climate change, they will now say, oh, Nigerians should go and stay in that house. They will stay in that Nigerian government house in the UK. That is how Nigeria will have that asset. So Nigerian government and like other countries usually have assets in other countries. So if they give judgment against your country, they can do what? They can now go after those assets, those house, that they know that it's your country that owns it. They will now go after it. So there is hardly any country that doesn't have assets in Europe or America. So that is why Nigeria is not safe. So now, after the French government have given judgment that, oh, take Nigeria's assets, take it, there is an appeal. Nigerian government appeal against one of the judgments in US that was earlier given. It was ratio 2-1. 3 justices sat on the appeal. 2 ruled against Nigeria, 1 ruled in favor of Nigeria. So you can see say Nigeria, they entered the wahala steady. So except if Nigeria now goes to the Supreme Court, and it is most unlikely that the Supreme Court will favor Nigeria. So if the Supreme Court in US does not favor Nigeria, that means you must pay that money. According to international law, international relations, you must pay that money. That's over $75 million. Nigeria must pay that money. That is what it means. So that money, by fire by force, must be paid, except you now decide to go and be begging those countries and say, Zhongshan, please, we beg you, temper justice with mercy, please help us, we don't have money. Or you now do what they call Sunday idea, I will be paying small, please let us be paying it in batches of $5 million till we pay it finish. But if all the legal process have been exhausted, definitely Nigeria will pay that money. So there's already a case in the US appeal court that has been delivered against Nigeria very recently, apart from the order from France. So now, in this kind of case, that Nigerian asset is about to be confiscated abroad, do you know that if the legal process is exhausted and it doesn't favor Nigeria presidential jet go just like that, and nothing will happen? They will confiscate it. That Zhongshan or something will sell it to recover the judgment deficit against Nigeria, and nothing will happen. Another thing is, so the way Nigerians are clamoring, let's just take note of this, that there is bad governance, country hard. So there is a jet that has been bought. The jet has already been bought. They are just here to bring it to Nigeria. Kai. Huh? Ah! Human being wicked o. So they've already bought the jet. Now this Zhongshan case, now he reveal it to that. The jet has already been bought. It is sitting down willingly in France just for it to be brought to Nigeria. You see why Nigerians are protesting that there's bad governance. You see now that you have bought the jet in this economic hardship with all the jet that Nigeria has. So there's 3 jets in France. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in Equatorial Guinea now. He went with a jet. Oh. He didn't charter, flight. Oh. He went with presidential jet. So in a country where there's so much poverty, how many jets do you want to have? The one you have, is it not enough? Is it that bad? Can't it be serviced? You now buy new one when people are suffering. So apart from that, another asset is that of crude oil earnings. Another asset that apart from seizing houses, that if they seize house, that Nigerian houses maybe in US, UK, one of the assets that Nigeria has, we go pay Nigeria apart, we say Nigeria go one craze, is that of crude oil earnings. Come, make I tell you. When Nigeria they earn from crude oil from these multinational oil corporations. E get one ogbonge company, you go down the year and JP Morgan, you go down the year that company. So Nigeria has some crude oil earnings with JP Morgan. That those crude oil earnings that Nigeria has with JP Morgan, is wanting to go after presidential jet. I've given you some of the assets that Nigeria has. That jet now is Nigeria's property. It's not Tinubu's property. It's the property of you and I as Nigerians. That is one. Nigerian houses abroad is Nigerian asset. Even Nigerian missions, embassies, all these things, they are Nigerian asset. Then there's also crude oil earnings that it is with JP Morgan. You see that crude oil earnings, if they want to recover the money, the court will just give an order to JP Morgan that from record Nigeria has so money with you, deduct so amount. And because JP Morgan is doing it legitimately by order of court, there's nothing Nigeria can do. So now still they cry, say no money. Now money wey dey with JP Morgan, una no know whether una go still lose that money sef. Just like that. So and when Nigerian assets are being taken away from the country, it will bring inconvenience. For instance, Nigeria may have luxury cars. First, if you go to Nigerian embassy in UK, there will be luxury cars there because it is often Nigerian diplomats, Nigerian government officials often come to UK. So if they are on government work, they will release those cars to them. Those cars, if they sell them, if those government officials come next time, which one they go use? So you see, this is the importance of signing agreement with due diligence. But Nigeria doesn't usually sign agreement with due diligence. Don't forget that there was a time that was reported in the media that during Buhari time, Nigerian government allegedly signed some document written in Chinese. Imagine a document written in Chinese. They just already sign it. So far as it go bring money for them. Nigeria is always quick to anything free, anything cheap. Aid, loans, you see Nigerian government there. They want the money. So when Nigerian government are signing agreement written in Chinese, imagine that. Written in, I'm sure that you are watching me, if you want to sign a crucial agreement and that agreement is written in, let's say you are Igbo, but you are Lagos Igbo, and that agreement is written in Igbo language, I'm sure you first of all go and seek interpreter, despite the fact that you are Igbo. For instance now, if you write, I'm a full-fledged Yoruba man. If, despite that I'm a Yoruba man, if you bring an agreement for me in Yoruba, and I see that you use strong Yoruba, and I may lose millions of dollars, what will I do? I first of all say, wait, let me go and seek the interpretation first. But Nigerian government, during Buhari time, you will hear it was all over the media. We are signing agreement allegedly in Chinese. Imagine if agreement is signed in Chinese. What do you know that is in that agreement that you are signing in Chinese? And like I said, in international diplomacy, agreement is agreement. Oh. You see, that thing that we used to take place, just sign, and you just take your pen, you just sign, 2 seconds. You can sign the destiny of your country away. You can sign the destiny of your unborn generation away, just like that. By just mere pen, you just sign. You don't sign people's destiny to away, just like that. So if Nigerian government could be signing agreement in Chinese, what do you expect that will eventually happen? You know? So signing agreement without due diligence, and that is why I pity Nigeria and I pity Nigeria. Countries usually put their best in governance. But unfortunately in Nigeria, it is the worst that are in governance. People with questionable certificates. Ordinary school sat, it will be questionable. WAEC have to bring it to Buhari. School sat, they were not dragging it. Him and Atiku, where's your school certificate? You didn't go to school. It's a lie. I went to school. You didn't go to school. I go school. You know, they were dragging it. Presidency of a country. Presidency of a country. Look at Tinubu now. There's also issue of certificate. Again. Certificate issue again. So, in a country that has so many PhDs, professors, emeritus professors, master's degree holder, BSc holder, una go open una high. Put people with questionable certificates for government, and na no one pay $75 million debt. Una go still pay like $50 billion sef. Wey be say they go just sell Nigeria, say okay, now they don sell Nigeria, maybe na China go come buy Nigeria, so Nigeria will be an annex of China. Because so long as we are putting questionable people in government, people with questionable certificate, people that are in government work because of what they want to gain, people that cannot do their due diligence, people that cannot do government work as if they are doing the work of themselves and their family. You need to see these international guys when they represent their country. When you are talking with them, their brains are open. All their mindset, all their skills are open. They are negotiating on behalf of their country. They know they must not fail. They know it is a great privilege to find yourself in position to represent your country. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, you want to do delegation, you send people that are already old. You will send people to go and sign agreement. They already have 2 guests inside the hotel room that is waiting to service them. If you doubt me, you will hear it in the news some time ago when some House of Rep members went to, I think it's US or Mexico, for a retreat. And they were flirting in a useless manner with guests. So you send somebody that doesn't even have the intellectual rigor, that has not done anything on international relations, international business, international diplomacy. Even the person was appointed as a result of political favor. Because as at then, when this agreement that puts Nigeria in problem now was signed, go and look at the person that is the minister then. Go and look at the person that was commissioner in Ogun State then. They are product of political favors. So you do expertise. Mazi Prince say they will use Uber. Shout out Mazi Prince, shout out to you. You know, they said at the end of the day, you put people that are of questionable character. You put them in government, people that have natural low IQ. I'll give you an example. When Buhari nominated one Nigerian judge, you know, I think it was one international judge forum like that. They now said Nigeria should send delegation, so they want to do screening. Judge, where go the buga? Now those judges, they sentence all these Nnamdi Kanu, all these judges. Now then they give election rule, you know. We say they go sit for something like this, you know. They go do and like person where shoulder pad. Say, oh, you know, it lacks merit, oh, you are hereby sentenced to. They nominated the guy during Buhari era to go and represent Nigeria. The guy, he no pass anything. He no perform at all. The guy didn't perform one bit. At the end of the day, they had to write that, oh, this guy didn't meet up, that we are sorry because he didn't even, like impress at all. So when you have people that are of questionable integrity and you put them in government, this is what you will face as a country. So now it is the turn of Ogun State. Oh, we don't know what is going to happen to Lagos. We don't know what is still going to happen to Nigeria, because you know that Nigeria just luckily got off this P and ID case by chance. So this attitude of jumping at free things. Do you know that in international relations, I have my master's degree in international relations from the University of Nottingham in UK, so I can tell you a bit of international relations. Do you know that when these foreign companies, when these foreign government, if they want something from you and they know that your people are weak, do you know they bribe them? Do you know they offer them stakes in those companies? For instance, this Zhongshan now, if he tells the commissioner for trade in Ogun State that, oh, we'd like to partner with you, don't worry, we'll give you 3%, just 3% stake in this transaction, the guy go on crazy. He will be ready to sign anything. The guy will be ready to sign anything just like that. Because why? He has been compromised. Do you know that some of these companies, they go as far as setting some diplomats up with very beautiful girls when you are weak. Imagine you are going to their country to sign an agreement. They have already provided very beautiful, down-to-earth, angelic-looking girls. They have provided you with luxury hotels. You are just enjoying, and you will be say, poverty don't want to kill you for Nigeria. And Nigerians like free things. You go just enjoy, go lose your sense. By the time they will bring the document, you just sign your country away. Do you know that in international agreement, because I was opportune to sit in a forum when the International Court of Justice President was there. Now, somebody asked a question that, how did they used to come by all these judgments from International Criminal Court, International Court of Justice? The judge ruled out the steps that they take, but I won't go into that now. That it was so transparent that at the end of the day, when judgment is given, you cannot question the judgment because you yourself know it is transparent. It was that time that I now realized why Obasanjo did not appeal the judgment when judgment was given that Nigeria should cede Bakassi to Cameroon. Before, I used to look at Obasanjo as a stupid man. Nigeria, our mentality is, if they give judgment, no matter how good it is, you must appeal. You must extol all the legal process. But when they gave that judgment and Obasanjo did not appeal, it was when I was opportune to sit at that international conference that I now understand, oh, maybe this is why Obasanjo did not appeal the judgment at that point in time. So when you are dealing with in the international trade, you have to be very careful. The judge said that you have to be very, very careful. Very, very careful that under international law, when there is a case, Mazi Prince say, their mind will be on frivolous things like Omoshola. My brother, no be lie. You are absolutely correct, my dear brother. You are very correct. When they see all these white girls, that's where their mind will be. So the judge at the Mazi Prince, my brother, help me share, help me like God bless you, my brother. I appreciate you. Thanks, man. Many thanks. So as I was saying, when they ask you, when you are representing Nigeria in the legal court, like the case of Bakassi that I just mentioned, the judge at that international conference that was opportune to be at, and they brought the one of the chief judge of, I think, International Criminal Court or International Court of Justice. He just said, if they ask you that where is Lagos, for example, where is Lagos, it is of common knowledge that Lagos is in Nigeria. They just said you are permitted to say, oh my lord, this question that you asked me, I would like to go and consult with my country before I can give an answer. It's a kind of silly question like, where is Lagos? As simple as it is, where is Lagos? And Lagos is in Nigeria. If you have a case and you are representing your country, they know you are representing a country. So people that are thinking all this Chinese company, they are trying to scam Nigeria, all this and that, na lie yo. If Nigeria has representation in the court of law, I'm telling you some of the things that happen in those court of law when country have cases. If they ask you where is Lagos, you can tell them that, my lord, I'm representing my country. I would like to go and ask, the president and the stakeholders that where is Lagos, because part of Lagos may have extended to Benin Republic. So if I say Lagos is in Nigeria, I may not be too correct, my lord. Give me time to ask. For that alone, they will give you time till the next sitting at that international court to go and ask and seek advice from your government that where is Lagos. Something as simple as that. When that judge said that thing at that international conference, I sat down like mumu. Wisdom is a principal thing. And that's why I said this channel, this Politic with Omoshola Deji, that is where you get it real, you get it live. All that knowledge now they bring for now, so free of charge. I was now looking at that ordinary where is Lagos, you have to go back to your country and ask. So the judge said, when judgment are given, you yourself, you will know that judgment is a true reflection of the best that the court can give. That's why nations don't appeal when they give judgment. That they don't just give judgment like that. So for people like Bayo Nonuga that is saying, oh yeah, they want to extort Nigeria, all this and that, that's bullshit. If they exhaust all legal appeal, they will sell Nigerian jet, nothing will happen. No. I'm telling you, the best that Nigerian can do is to go and be begging Chinese government to help them to appeal to Zhongshan that, oh please, we don't offend a company in your country, please help us intervene. It's just as if make China offend Dangote, make Dangote get judgment. The best that Chinese government can do is to come to Nigeria and start appealing to Nigerian government that, please, we're in problem with Dangote, help us beg Dangote. That is the best that can happen. But in this case, as it is currently, Nigeria doesn't have a choice. So when you are jumping at free things, when you are jumping at cheap things, when you are using impunity, end bad governance protesters, you want to kill them, you want to intimidate them, you want to imprison them. Those that are fighting for Biafra, you want to kill them, you want to intimidate them. Those that are suffering in the north, you want to kill them, you want to intimidate them. You go they do you go they enjoy and so you go come dey deal with international body. You go don't forget. You go think say na Mazi Prince. You go think say na Mazi Prince you dey deal with. Say if him protest, you go just carry am, go lock am for jail. You fit get agreement with am, make you rubbish that agreement. If he get judgment against you for court, you no go obey the judgment. That thing wey you dey do, e go don dey sweet you. You go don dey sweet you. When you want to do business with international body, you would have forgotten. That was what happened to Ibukule Amosun when he rubbish that agreement with Zhongshan and he locked them up with impunity. That was what happened, and they decided to lock them up with impunity. So in the minds of Ibukule Amosun, this Zhongshan, and that is what less education does to some of our leaders. Because if you have intelligent people in government, they will know that there is an international agreement that would have been signed. He would have first of all go through the details of that agreement and seek wise counsel first. But he just rubbished the agreement by executive fiat. he would think that is the way they are doing to Nigerian people. He want to go and do. You know, if it is Nigeria, they can lock you up. Which court will even impound Nigerian jet anyway? Court that cannot give fair judgment on electoral issues. You know, that we to say number 4 is now number 1, as we have in Imo State. Is it that kind of court that we say, oh, go and impound presidential jet? The judge that said it said DSS go carry am, flog am, you know, instantly the judge will reverse that order. That is why some of these court, they can't use Nigeria, because which judge, they never born the judge where they go finish in career, they go kill in career. Say you give order that, oh, they should impound presidential jet wey Tinubu dey take do babalaye. You can't say, oh, because say Ogun State government get problem with Chinese company Zhongshan, you hereby order that mouth wey you take order am as judge, they go slap am instantly, nothing go happen. If you be say na agbero sef go invade court, slap you wey be judge, nothing will ever happen. The DSS not invade the home of judges. So if it were to be in Nigeria, which court will impound? So no matter what, even if Nigerian government cheat you from now till tomorrow, at the end of the day, nothing will happen. You just suffer in vain. You suffer for free. Just like that. Just like that. Oh. So government is continuum. And that is why countries push their best in governance to avoid embarrassment. To avoid embarrassment, because this thing is imagine presidential jet. One of the symbols of Nigerians sovereignty. Mazi Prince says they will give them massages. You know, yes, so share. Yeah, thank you, my brother Mazi Prince. You know, much love. Please help me share, help me like, help me drop your comment. You know, as the comment is dropping, I'm reading them. You know, so you see that countries usually put their best in governance. But in Nigeria, if it were to be Nigeria, Joe Biden will still contest. Joe Biden will still contest as he is in US. Even if he has finished his second term, as he's dying, he will still want to do third term. He will still want to change the constitution. Look at Paul Biya of Cameroon. We have a plethora of examples whereby it is easy in African countries for the worst to lead. You put people of questionable character, questionable certificate, questionable source of wealth, questionable background, and you think you won't embarrass yourself internationally. You want to undo Zhongshan the way you are handling end SARS protesters, the way you are handling end bad governance protesters. You want to undo Zhongshan like that, not realizing that you've signed an international agreement with them, and you think you will go scot-free. If we are not careful, they will sell that jet. I'm telling you, this is an expert opinion. No? They will sell that jet and nothing will happen, because the jet has already been impounded. So now the thing is that a man signed an agreement on behalf of a government, another man came as governor, rubbished the agreement. Now they have put the people of Ogun State in debt too. Because if that money is to be paid, do you know that does Ogun State have $75 million to pay that debt? So you are taking decision on behalf of the people. That is why our people, our Nigerian people, used to be clamoring for these loans where government they go collect. That's another topic for another day. The implication of all this loan, you will just hear for news say, oh, Tinubu government borrow $2 billion loan, or from World Bank, one bank approved $2 billion loan for president. You go smile. You go say, these people, they don't go borrow again. When you suppose they cry, say they don't go borrow the future of your pikin, the future of your grand pikin. I will come up with an analysis of that on another day. The implication of all these loans, grant, aid, how they use it to trap nations, how they use it to trap countries. I will still come up with the analysis of that. That is on another day. So you know that Nigeria is already in deep trouble, that it will take the intervention of a very strong person like Jesus Christ to save Nigeria, because we've already collect loans, we've already collect so many aids, we've already signed treaties. You know what all these foreign companies and all these countries, what they do? They will package some frivolous laws, just as this recent Samoa agreement where they are talking about same-sex marriage. They will package it, then they will now put sugar on top, that oh, if you can, you know, if you sign this treaty, you will have access to $2 billion loan. $2 billion. Nigerian government know they won't hear anywhere where money dey. They know they take eye to see money or any free thing. Oh, $2 billion. They go just sign. They don't want to know what is in that agreement. They don't want to know what is in that treaty. If you doubt me, how did Nigeria, a non-Islamic country, became a member of OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries? Don't you know Nigeria is a member of OIC? Nigeria, according to OIC, is regarded as an Islamic country under Babangida. This happened under. Don't take my word for it. Anything I tell you on this platform, I'm not a social commentator. I'm a trained political scientist. That is what I read from PhD to from BSc to PhD level. So anything I tell you, don't just take my word for it. Go and do small research. Nigeria is a member of OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries. Because why? That time, that organization, they dole out money. Immediately, IBBC say, hey, free money. You just go sign Nigeria. And you know, say during military regime, now by decree, they don't go sign Nigeria, put for Organization of Islamic Countries. Now they have politicized it. Nigeria cannot cease to be a member of that Organization of Islamic Countries, because the North, all those Islamic clerics, the Northeast Murik, all of them, they go protest. So Nigerian government just left it to avoid problem. So right now, as I'm talking to you, Nigeria is regarded as an Islamic country by OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries. Go and fact check me. Mazi Prince says, now so you're on point. Thank you, my brother. God bless you. God bless you, my brother. So Nigeria is already a member of Organization of Islamic Countries. So anywhere Nigerian government see that there is free money, they will just say come. Then if you take companies, see, I will tell you a story. I've been opportune to live in Asia. I did my PhD in Asia, in a university in Asia. You see some of these guys that used to come to Nigeria that you will see at the airport, whereby you will see gun. You that you are a citizen, you are not protected though. When those guys come into the country, you will see Mopo, all these young Chinese boys. Some of them are nobody in their country. Oh. Some of them, it is even some of our politicians that will go and package one average Chinese boy that his company doesn't have more than 3 staff in China. They'll go and package them to Nigeria to come and be receiving contract. When they now get to airport, some of all these small Chinese boys, you see security, you see escort, you see siren, they'll say, expatriate has come. Some of them are not as educated as me. Some of them are not as qualified as you that you are watching me. That's what happens. So if you're a frequent traveler, you will see them at the airport, Nigerian airport. You will see them, all these small Chinese boys, all these Chinese, all these Lebanese. You see them there. Some of them, it's not like maybe they are the best hands in their country. They are nobody. They don't even know their company in their country. They don't know their country. Their company, they are nobody in their country. But you will see them. They will come to Nigeria. They will be given full escort. Yeah, Fumilayo Dumosu, thank you. Thank you, madam. Thanks for the love. So, they will come to Nigeria and they will be given full escort, full security. Mopo will not guide you. Go, they guide them. And at the end of the day, it is even some of these, our Nigerian politicians, that teach some of these Chinese guys. If those guys want to say the truth, they'll say, no, don't say the truth. Say it like this. Say it like this. Do like this. So that they can reap their country. Nigerians, we don't have fear of God. Some of our politicians will go and liaise with these Chinese guys to dupe Nigeria. Imagine you go and bring somebody from China, somebody that is not known, somebody that is not an expatriate. You give that person job in Nigeria, a multi-billion naira job in Nigeria, just to reap the country. That is where we have found ourselves. So if we are not careful, we will pay serious money. I hope they don't sell Ogun State safe. And that is why sometimes federal government used to intervene in state loan and agreement. You know, sometimes if you want to borrow money as a state government, you know that you can't just go and collect the money. Federal government too must be aware of it. Federal government must also sign. It's because of some of this embarrassment that federal government used to sign that, oh, we are aware of this agreement, we are aware of this law, so that if anything happens, federal government will not say no, it's none of our business. That is why they are holding Nigerian government for a sin allegedly committed by Ogun State. So if you don't understand, you say, this agreement was signed in Ogun State. Now, so what is now the business of Nigerian government? No. In international relations, they deal by government to government, like country to country, national government to national government. Nigerian government, Chinese government may be doing something in Ogun State, but they are dealing with Nigerian government represented by Ogun State. Take note of that. If a foreign country is coming to do something in Nigeria, even if they are dealing with Kano State government, maybe they want to come and do something in Kano State. According to international trade, law and diplomacy, that Chinese company or firm is dealing with Nigerian government represented by Kano State. So in this case, if you are wondering why they are holding Nigeria's presidential jet, it is because it is assumed that Zhongshan is dealing with Nigerian government represented by Ogun State for the establishment of a free trade zone. That is why Nigerian government is being held responsible. They know that if they hold Nigerian government will hold Ogun State. We hold Ogun State government and say, where my money? That is why they are holding Nigerian government. And in this case, for instance, in that US, you know what Nigerian government go talk? Come on, make I tell you. When they went on appeal, Nigerian government said, this jet is a symbol of our sovereignty. So you cannot hold what signifies our sovereignty and all that. Two of the judges said, no, you have a legal agreement. Because the agreement is a legal one, we can hold you responsible. One of the judges said, that, they may not hold Nigeria responsible. But since two have ruled against Nigeria, it is 2/1. That majority judgment stands. Now, so Nigeria still lose for US court. So now, Nigeria may now appeal to the Supreme Court. And there are still cases in fact, that company itself strong. That's Zhongshan. And I never heard the name of that company before. Because if that company no strong, how will a company, you are the one company, the people who get this company, then they vex gone. Maybe because they were tortured in Nigeria for no just cause. Because you are the same company, you a company. Now you sue Ogun State government and Nigeria for US. Now you sue Ogun State government and Nigeria for UK. Now you sue Ogun State government and Nigeria for France. Then how you tell no say 3 Nigerian jets dey France? Or is there a 5th columnist? Is there people are there Nigerians working with this company? Because how they think they do these things? We will say you just one company, you get so many mind to sue Nigeria and to pursue the case for years. That company go dey strong, or are there Nigerians that are involved who are 5th columnists that are trying to sabotage Nigeria? Because if the P&ID case is anything to go by, you know that Nigeria, if it involves money, well, what am I even saying? In Nigeria, don't we see father that use daughter for money ritual? You know, see brothers where they use themselves. You know, see neighbor where they use the neighbor picking. If that can happen, are you not telling me that are there not Nigerians that can sabotage Nigeria? Are there Nigerians working with this company? Because how did the company have so much information? What gives the company courage? How about the resources? Because you'll be hiring international lawyers. It is easy for you as a country to pick the money from public funds. You just dip your money into Nigerian money. You just dip your hand into Nigerian money, use them to settle international lawyers. Oh yeah, go and be discussing our case. But as a company, Zhongshan, let's remember that this is not Microsoft though. This company is not Amazon, oh. It's not like a global brand. But for you to have the temerity to hold on and to sue Nigeria in different countries, is there the hand of a fifth columnist? That's one thing that we need to look at. Are there fifth columnists? Are there Nigerians working with this company? Because for the company to insist that no, they must seize Nigerian assets, they must give, because Dapo Abiodun was said to have been meeting with them and say, oh, they should just temper justice with mercy. All of a sudden, they just change pattern. Say no, they must collect all that $75 million. So, are there people that are working with these companies? So, that is why sometimes when you see the federal government saying no to some of these aids and loans, this is some of the cause. These are some of the reasons. Because at the end of the day, if you don't pay, if you cause problem, if you create anything, the federal government will be held responsible for it. But if the federal government do not allow the state to have their way, it will be a problem. Imagine, let's say Kano State government want to go and borrow money now, and Tinubu, no, let me use River State for example. River State under the PDP want to go and borrow money, want to go and collect loan. Then the Tinubu government, federal government, is now saying no, that the terms of this loan is not clear. They will politicize it and say no, he doesn't want us to develop, it's because we are PDP, they are APC. But sometimes all this scrutiny, they are very essential, they are very important. They are very, very important. But sometimes we don't take cognizance of it. So, and if Nigeria were to be a good country, what did they call it? This company, Zhongshan, would have used the Nigerian court, would have used Nigerian institution. But Nigerian institutions that are so weak, do you know that you can go to court and spend 3 years in court in this country, and at the end of the day, you will suffer to get the judgment. When you still take the judgment to police station, instead of the law enforcement to go and enforce that judgment, they will still ask you for money. They will ask you for money for mobilization. For example, now, if I'm owing you money and the court now give a judgment against me, Willie, where I see you, my brother, you says you are spot on. They could not have done it without internal collaborators. God bless you, my brother. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Please share. So you see that at the end of the day, if court give you judgment against me, that oh, judgment is hereby given against Deji. If it is in Nigeria, you spend money to go to court. You spend money to hire a lawyer. When you go to the police station to effect the judgment, police will still tell you, say, oh yeah, mobilize us. If let's say the court has given a judgment that, oh, go and seize the car of Deji. Say, oh, go and seize Deji's car. When you take that judgment to the police station, the police will still tell you to bring money. And if you don't bring that money, they will not follow you to go and effect that judgment. Whereas, because the court has given a judgment, it is automatic. It is the duty of the police. You don't need to give them 1 naira. But that doesn't, even if you go and complain, for police to come and, effect arrest, they will still ask you for money. So we have weak institutions. Nigeria has a lot of problems. Weak institutions, incompetent people in government, ineffectual or untrusted judiciary, lot of problem. But who I pity most is this Nigerians, or this for instance, this Ogun State people now. You see, illiteracy is a problem. Some of our people in Ogun State, because they are not educated, when election come, that party that has put them in $75 million debt, they'll still go and vote for that party. If you are watching, if you can help me do the arithmetic, 75 million, if your calculator can carry 75 million, I think a dollar now is 1,600. Now press 75 million times 1,600 at the rate of 1,600 per dollar. That is the amount Ogun State government is to pay one company that may not even be a very relevant company in China. At the end of the day, they might be collaborators. I won't be surprised that if they eventually pay that money, there might be some political figures in Nigeria that are already going to have share. Say, oh, Zhongshan, if I give you all the secret, if you collect this money, you will pay me $2 million from the $75 million. It's not impossible, because Nigerians can do anything. They are too desperate. The desperation is at its peak. So if Ogun State is owing, according to the judgment by court, if Lagos State too find his own tomorrow, and all the aids and loans the Nigerian government has been borrowing from China, if they are not able to pay it, and China woke up one morning and say they want to be taking Nigerian assets, wait, can Nigerian assets even pay for the loan that, or the money that Nigeria is owing China? You know, at some point we are just collecting Chinese loan. We are just signing Chinese agreement. Why are we like this in this country, that we can't harness our resources? We need to ask ourselves, rather than giving contract to all these Chinese firms, can't you establish companies in Nigeria? Can't you train Nigerians? Nigeria has a lot of engineers. Can't you send them on course and training abroad? Can't you sign deals that will help Nigeria to develop? When Shell discovered oil in Malaysia, crude oil, they said they don't have expertise that they can use, that they have to use foreign people. Malaysian government told them that, okay, if you don't have expertise, no problem. We give you 10 years. 10 years. We give you 10 years. That after 10 years is enough for you, Shell, to have trained some of our people in Malaysia to be engineers, to have all those skills that you say that Malaysians do not have. That's why you can't employ Malaysians into the oil sector too much. Okay, bring your expatriate, but we give you 10 years. That 10 years is for you to train some Malaysians. At the end of 10 years, so amount of Malaysia, so percentage of Malaysia must be in your workforce, in different sectors of your workforce as Shell. Shell has been exploiting oil in Nigeria since 1958, when oil production began. Is there any agreement that protects Nigerians? Is there anything that solidifies Nigerians' ability to be able to work with Shell? All these oil multinational corporations, they've been working in Nigeria since 1958. They don't have refinery. And Nigeria have leaders. That's why you see that Malaysia can't be compared to Nigeria now, despite the fact that Malaysia got independent, I think, 1958 or thereabout, very close to Nigeria. Malaysia was colonized by Britain, UK, as well as Nigeria. But today, you cannot compare Nigeria with Malaysia. Because why? When Malaysian government were implementing these correct policies, what was Nigerian government doing? Yakubu Gowon. If you forgot him, the likes of Yakubu Gowon were saying, oh, Nigeria has money. The only problem is how to spend it. What kind of nonsense talk is that? As at the time that Gowon was saying this nonsense, did Nigeria have constant electricity? Do Nigeria have enough industries? Were Nigerian resources being adequately harnessed? Was there sufficient or effective rail system in the country? The answer to all this is no. So when the answer to all this is no, why is the head of state of your country, he lacks the focus to use that money to go and pump it, to go and pump it into rail? He lacks the focus to go and pump that money into health, into infrastructure, road system. Gowon lacks that vision. Gowon could not see beyond his nose. He said, oh, Nigeria's problem is not money, it is just how to spend it. You know when Nigeria could have developed? You know when Nigeria could have developed? When Nigeria, it was 1970s. Let me tell you a bit of history. Go and read about. Let me take this comment from my brother Willie. Willie says at one, I think is referring to the dollar to naira exchange rate. Willie says at 1,574.40. I think, you know, maybe you checked online. If you go to Aboki now, you know Aboki price is different from all this online price. But let's assume it is 1,574. Willie, if you are there now, help me go and multiply it by 75 million. Help me, my brother. You know, Bobby, dey careful. May your calculator no go knock you. May your phone or your calculator no go hang go, because that figure, may you not turn to Akpabio. You know Akpabio, when he was reading money, he said, this figure too much for me. Oh, the Senate president. So you see that when Nigeria could have made it, when the likes of Malaysia, Singapore, all these NICs that they call newly industrialized countries, when they were doing these things, you know what happened? It was during the oil boom of the 1970s. In the 1970s, there was this oil boom that countries were making great sales from oil. Oil was very expensive in the 1970s. So as the likes of Malaysia and some other oil producing countries, Qatar, Kuwait, that are developed now, when they were making that money during oil boom in 1970s, what was Nigeria doing? Nigeria was just lavishing the money. Gowon thought, oh, Nigeria has arrived. They were so dull to think that is how Nigeria will just be making money, you know, just be exploiting crude oil, making free money. Pakam, after a while, oil boom ended. Problem now started. So the countries that has invested their money well, that have planned well, that have provided infrastructure during those oil boom, that have good leaders, like Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore, now then they enjoy now. Those are the countries that are enjoying now. It is some of those countries that are now enjoying. Where is Nigeria? Nowhere to be found. Despite the fact that Nigeria made money during oil boom. Nigeria has enormous resources. So when you fail to train your people, when you fail to make companies available, what is there in free trade zone? Let's be sincere with ourselves. If you want to say all this, you know, Zhongshan agreement, what is there in establishing, you know, free trade zone? What is free trade zone? It is like a market, like a big market, that there will be infrastructure, there will be amenity, that people will be going to do buying of goods and services, like all this Chinatown, you know, like all this Chinatown, something like that. So what is there that you need a Chinese company to come and do free trade zone? In establishing a market, putting infrastructures there. When you establish it yourself, when you empower Nigerians to establish it, and Nigeria is producing, Chinese want to sell, they will naturally bring their goods here by fire by force. So you don't even need Zhongshan, or what do they call it? If I'm to look at it well, we don't even need Zhongshan, because in this case, if it is oil exploration, we can say, oh, we don't have the skill, we don't have the technology. But to establish a free trade zone, what do you need? Maybe a car park, maybe you need lift. You know, these are things that you can buy from companies. Nigeria's engineer that are well trained, that you think will fix it for you. Maybe you need this thing that when you are at the toll gate, you know, that thing that when it press it will go up. I've forgotten the name. Maybe you need to install it. What is there in establishing a free trade zone that you now go and incur debt of $75 million? Now let us look at it from another perspective. If you incur debt of $75 million, how much is it to even establish the free trade zone? Let's be realistic with ourselves. If you want to establish a free trade zone, you want to build, an industrial market that people can be, doing buying and selling. If you convert $75 million, the judgment that is given against Nigeria now, because those people were arrested and tortured, because Nigeria did not fulfill its part of the agreement, the damages and benefit and all that, now you make that money $75 million. Now that $75 million, if you convert it, is it not too much to build a market? That's why when you don't appreciate your own, when you don't train your own, when you fail to do the right thing, it is this kind of thing that will teach you lesson. And that is the lesson Nigeria is facing now. A national embarrassment, 3 private jets. There are countries that are richer than Nigeria that they only have 1 jet. 1, max 2. But we like to show off over nothing. You, poverty capital of the world, you are having 3 jets in France. 2 that you are using, 1 that you bought that they are yet to bring to Nigeria. And poverty is in your country. And your president has used another jet to go to Equatorial Guinea. And I'm sure there is still 1 standby jet. Maybe there's an issue and Kashim Shettima and you need to attend an official function. I'm sure there will still be 1. So now I'm counting like 5. Do you know the cost of maintaining this jet? The cost of maintaining all these jets, it no be here. There was 1 footballer at one point, is it Amokachi or something like that bought jet. Now that jet na him run am. Because to pay air hostess, maintenance, what did they used to call this thing? Hangar. Where you park the something, at the airport. There's an amount, any airport that you park, there's an amount that you need to be paying daily. That was why when it got to a point, when Buhari went on medical tourism in UK, and he was using like 3 months, Nigerians were protesting that the presidential jet was just parked at the airport. That Nigeria, you are using Nigerian fund to maintain the presidential jet at the airport daily. Because when the presidential jet was parked at the airport, when Buhari went on medical tourism at that time, Nigeria, there's an amount Nigeria will be paying daily. That space that you park that jet is not free. No be free. Now big money. Solid money. It's just as, let's say you went to a place now, they are now paying money for parking. This 500, 1,000 that they used to collect. Exactly. That is how it is. So they will give you a space to park that your jet. There's an amount of dollars or pound that you'll be paying per day. So when the presidential jet was parked for 3 months, about 3 months or thereabout in UK, imagine how much that is. Just imagine. So the money was just going just like that. Just like that. Now, you go and use Nigerians' money to say you are servicing jet in France, when Nigeria is producing engineering graduates daily. When there are Nigerians that are graduates, that you have unemployed engineering graduates, so many of them in their thousands, engineering graduates wey just dey wey no get job, but you now carry presidential jet to France for the engineering graduate of France to be fixing Nigeria's presidential jet, and you are now paying them with money that is supposed to be helping Nigerians, with the empowerment that you are supposed to be giving Nigerians, and you are saying they won't seize your jet. By God's grace, they will seize it. They will seize it. They must seize that jet. Because the head of Nigerians that have been cheated, the destiny of Nigerians that have been rubbish, will make them to seize that jet. Because Nigeria has a lot of engineering graduates. The population of Nigeria is more than that of France. If France have failed to train their graduates, if they have failed to give their people good education, Will you take your jet to France? If France have done their country in a very rubbish manner the way Nigerian leaders have done Nigeria, will you take your jet to France? So in the whole of Nigeria, just to maintain a jet, there is nobody that can do it. You need to take it to France. You want to do medical, you go to France, you go to UK. And you are saying Nigerian money should have value. And you are saying Nigeria should not be in debt. Why won't you be in debt? Now basically go kill Nigeria now. Because why? It's like Nigeria is just existing for some people. That is it. Nigeria is just existing for some certain people. That's what Nigerians are facing now, because you will be paying money that you don't even know about. Now, there was a time that they said if they are to divide the money that Nigerian government is owing China or something like that, that it will amount to like maybe each citizen like maybe 150,000 or something like that. Something like that, you know. I stand to be corrected. And I told one of my friends, I said, see, me, I'm not in Nigeria at the moment. Oh, I have dropped your name as my next of kin. When China come, and they are coming to recover their money from each and every one of us, when they check my name, Omoshola Deji, since I'm not present in the country, they will just look, who do I use as next of kin? They will just see you there. They will grip you, so pay my money. You know, I was just using it to, you know, to joke with my friend at that time. So why wouldn't they seize presidential jet? Even if you don't have the parts, if you have Nigerian engineers, they will write the foreign company that, oh, we need, it's just like, let's say you need, let's just use something common like radiator or carburetor, for example. Nigerian engineers will just write the company that, oh, please, we need so spare parts. DHL will bring it. The maintenance department in the presidency will go and collect it. They will fix it. The people that you are taking it to in France, they are not ghosts. They are human beings like us. So when you fail to develop the country, when your graduates are suffering, your graduates are turning to Yahoo boy, your graduates are turning to ritualist, the youth are playing Naira bet, and you are now using the job that you are supposed to give to them. Look at the southeast. Look at the kind of intelligence in the southeast. All these shoe that they call Aba shoe, made in Aba. Do you know that if you empower Aba, the shoe that will be worn in some of these African countries will be produced in Aba? Nigeria is just wasting away. Give Aba constant electricity. Empower all those cobblers, all those, you know, Aba shoes that, you know, that some Nigerians call inferior. They want to wear Gucci, they want to wear Louis Vuitton. You see, on some of those shoes, if you empower these people that they are just trying to survive on their own, if they take this empowerment, they will make better shoes. They will make fantastic shoes that will be imported to Togo, Ghana, you know, Lomé, I think Lomé is also in Togo, Côte d'Ivoire, all these places. So Nigeria will be the production hub of West Africa. But because we don't have thinking leaders, all they are thinking of is how to enjoy, how to benefit their family. That's why Nigeria is suffering now. And that is why they too now, they are gaining the embarrassment. Imagine a state government will handle a contract with one company that is barely unknown in China, and one company that is barely unknown. If you go to China now, I didn't mean I'm in China, I would have go to the street of China and hold microphone and try to interview some Chinese. Say, hello, how are you? I want to ask you, do you know any company called Zhongshan? You see that most Chinese on the street of China, they'll say, I don't know. They'll tell you they don't know that Zhongshan. So it is that company that is likely unknown in China that is embarrassing the government of 200 million population. The government of people that have produced PhDs, professors, you know, lots of graduates and all that. It is that little or less known company that is embarrassing Nigeria today. That is why when you fail to do the right thing, when you fail to appreciate your own, when you fail to do things that are right, it will come back and hurt you as well. And when you are used to impunity, when you are used to rubbishing agreement, you would have forgotten that you are doing it with a foreign company. You think you are doing it to Shukwudi in Aba. You think you are doing it to Tunde in Osun State. You think you are doing it to Mohammed in Kano, that you have been doing all over these years, and you know nothing happened. See the people they killed in NSAS protest, nothing has happened. Those ones, they don't die, go be that to Sarah. You would have forgotten that iron-handedness. That's how you just say, oh, Zhongshan, I don't like their face again, I don't like their face again. Oh yeah, rubbish it. See what half education has cost Ogun State. Then you now say, oh, apart from say I don't like their face, oh, I must punish them. You know, say Nigerian politicians, they know how to abuse power. Even when they are driving in traffic, it is the police, the army that will pass one way. If you are not careful, they will hit your car, they won't even say sorry. All this high-handedness that they used to do, all these governors that they used to behave like God, you now want to do it to Zhongshan. You now carry them. See what they did to Binance, all these Binance officials. So that's why Nigeria, if we are not careful, we will continue to learn the hard way. We'll continue to learn the hard way. It's been a wonderful time with you on this episode of Polythink with Omoshola Deji. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel if you are yet to. Turn on the notification button, because this is where we keep it real. This is where we make it happen. I bring you all the up-to-date analysis. So please share and let others subscribe as well, so that they can also benefit from this knowledge. Till I see you next time, and I'm sure that's going to be very soon, where we'll be having the opportunity to analyze politics and happenings in the polity. In fact, you know, after a little while, I want to do this phone-in session whereby you can have your say. You know, as I'm speaking all along, you can also dial in and, you know, make your contribution, tell us your mind, tell us what you feel. I'm working at, I'm thinking about that. Hopefully, by the grace of God, as our viewers increase, you know, as people get to kind of like subscribe and we are having more audience, definitely we will make it happen. So this segment will be called Have Your Say, whereby anything that you feel in your mind, that anger where you they get against government, you come and pour it here. You know, it's Have Your Say. Nobody is going to hold you. This is not the Nigerian regulated media. You will say your mind. Although mine is to advise you that at least to apply some decency, so that we don't use foul language and all that, you know. So I'm working on a lot of things. Hopefully we make it happen by the grace of God. It's been a wonderful time with you. I remember my humble self, Dr. Omoshola Deji, political scientist, public affairs analyst. Till I see you again, stay blessed. God bless you.